We'd like to think that all the toys released to the public are safe and thoroughly tested. Well, it turns out quite a few dangerous toys have slipped through quality control over the years, often requiring a recall or a total ban. Chances are you've played with at least one of these toys growing up. You must have survived the encounter, so congratulations. Before we head off down our danger-filled memory lane, be sure to hit that subscribe button to ensure that you don't miss any of our future releases. Slap bracelets. At first, it's hard to figure out why this popular 90s toy was taken off the market. Sure, it was basically the same as a spring-loaded tape measure that curled around your wrist, and yes, some of us did try and snap them around our necks. But what was really dangerous? Well, it turns out that the market got flooded with cheap knockoffs. In turn, the metal inside often wore through the coating and started cutting a lot of kids. Anything that makes kids bleed in the toy world is on the fast track to Banland. Metal playground equipment. Okay, so this isn't a toy per se, but we're sure most of you remember playing on playground equipment that was all metal when you were younger. It was great! The equipment was solid and only occasionally cut us. If we hit our heads or limbs, the metal only gave us small bruises and little concussions. And don't even get us started on how we all got burned playing on the slide and monkey bars that had been baking in the hot sun all day. Come to think of it, it's pretty obvious why these things were replaced in playgrounds during the 90s. Snack Time Cabbage Patch Doll. In the 1980s, if you were anyone, then you had a Cabbage Patch doll. They were so popular, stores couldn't keep them stocked. Then in the mid-90s, a Cabbage Patch doll with a motorized mouth was unleashed upon the world. Everything was fine until the dolls seemingly developed a taste for little kids. Reports even started coming in that fingers, skin, and hair were getting caught in the chompers of these demonic little toys. The mouths were even reportedly strong enough to pull hair right from the scalp. Needless to say, one exorcism and a recall later, and the Snack Time doll was removed from the shelves and recalled from 500,000 homes. Sky Dancers. A toy you wind up and release into the air where it flies around wherever it wants. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out a lot. Sky Dancers were one of those 90s toys every kid wanted for at least a little while. That's because these seemingly harmless wind-up toys actually did a lot of damage. With a number of broken teeth, eye injuries, facial lacerations, and concussions on the rise, the Consumer Product Safety Commission stepped in 2000. With that, nearly 9 million of these flying harbingers of doom were recalled and taken off the shelves. CSI Forensic Lab Kit. First off, since kids generally didn't watch CSI, it seems a bit strange that a home forensic kit was released at all. After all, it's kind of why there's no Breaking Bad toys made for kids. That's just common sense. Nonetheless, in the mid-2000s, parents everywhere were swooping in to take these things away from their kids. Research had shown that the CSI kits contained significant amounts of asbestos, a substance long known to cause cancer. Consumers everywhere were outraged, and the toy was pulled from shelves soon after. Atomic Energy Lab. If asbestos isn't your thing, then how about a little radiation? Yup, in the 1950s, everyone was fascinated with nuclear power and radiation. The problem is that the dangers of radiation weren't as widely known among the general public. Enter the Atomic Lab. This fun home kit let kids explore and handle all sorts of radioactive material, including uranium. There were even instructions on how to prospect for uranium and an order form for more radioactive rocks when your sample had run out. Eventually, people realized letting children play with radioactive material was a bad thing, and the kit was pulled from stores. Clackers. Chances are you've seen this toy, at least in its safer yet equally annoying plastic form. The principle behind clackers was simple. You just flick your wrist in the right way and get two balls to smack into each other repeatedly. The original clackers were made from ceramic or some type of hardened glass. Of course, bang them together long and hard enough and the balls could shatter. The rain of shrapnel could cause cuts or even blind anyone bored enough to play with this toy for that long. Nonetheless, this exploding ball of fun was removed from the market and replaced with one made from all plastic. Zulu Blowgun. Whoever thought this toy was appropriate probably also pitched the idea for the Radiation Lab Kit. Any toy maker who makes any sort of shooting toy should know kids are going to use it to shoot their friends and siblings. Even though it included rubber-tipped darts, the Zulu Blowgun could still damage an eye or get sucked down someone's throat. We're also pretty sure if you owned this, you likely tried shooting other, more dangerous things out of it. That's why the stores quickly pulled this thing off the shelves. Kite Tube. Riding an inner tube behind a boat can be a lot of fun. One company realized this and took it to the next level by adding the ability to get airborne. The kite tube was a wider form of tube that allowed riders to catch the air and rise up out of the water. However, what often happened was that once airborne, the tube would come slamming back down into the water at great speed. After some publicized injuries and even deaths at the hand of the kite tube, the Consumer Product Safety Commission stepped in to halt sales of this fun yet incredibly dangerous toy. Jarts. This is the gold standard of banned toys. If you grew up in the late 70s or 80s, then odds are you played with lawn darts at least once. With plastic fins and a heavy metal head, the darts were meant to be thrown towards a target, like lawn bowling. Naturally, kids got bored of this and decided it was more fun to throw the darts at each other or straight up in the air, after which you dodge them as they fell. Good times! In 1987, everyone suddenly realized just how dangerous metal lawn darts were when a small child was killed. The product was pulled from the shelves immediately. Well, all this video reminded us of was how fun and dangerous childhood actually was. Still looking to bring back more of those childhood memories? Check out the richest for other related videos, from lies your parents told you when you were little to hidden meanings in your favorite cartoons. Just be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!